Thanks for joining us on the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Let's talk some golf. And Jason Dotzel joining us from Crestwood High School. He recently won the Tryba Tournament to open the school year. A great feeling, I'm sure, for you, Jason. Talk about your play.
Yeah, it was a great way to start out the season. Good confidence as far as winning the individual and the team. As far as play, I hit the ball really well. I was able to score there. I got off to a little bit of a shaky start, but I bounced back, and I had 75 as the number going into the round, and I did one better than it. But it was a pretty smooth round, a lot of pars, and when I started coming down the stretch and I started hearing some of the other scores around, and I knew what I had to shoot, then I started feeling the pressure a little more, but I was able to maintain it and par the last 4 holes, which was big for me.
Well, Jason, you do just more than golf at Crestwood. You play a little basketball for Coach Mark Atherton, so I'm sure you're used to playing at a high level with the Comets, a nice basketball team year in and year out. Talk about that athleticism you have that you think carries over when you're on the basketball court over to the golf course and having that drive and that competitive edge.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're 2 totally different sports, but there's a lot of things that link together as far as Coach Atherton always has us working in the weight room, which in return helps my golf swing. Even when we're doing stretching, warming up drills at basketball, it translates into the golf swing, gets you a lot more power, a lot more flexibility, which is huge. And then we're always competitive year in and year out in basketball, which is great, because then it's kind of strange when we start losing games, and that carries over into golf. I mean, no one ever has fun losing, and especially me. I like to go out and win, and I try and help as far as helping some of the younger kids out as well. Helping out, just like on the basketball court, you could help some of your partners out on the golf course.
Jason, how does golf differ than basketball in that regard? I mean, something that you'll likely do when you're a golfer or a tennis player, something that you hope to do maybe for a long time in your life or the rest of your life, so to speak. But, making sure there's that good sportsmanship and giving guys pointers, just I'm sure as some people maybe gave you along the way.
Yeah. Well, golf, like you said, golf's something that you can play for the rest of your life, and that's why I was glad that I started while I was in high school. I know I talked to a lot of people on the golf course and say that they didn't start till they were 20, 30 years old and how they regret it. But, yeah, it's great. I've played alongside a lot of good players, Billy Dombrowski, Joe Hearn. I got to come up with them as well as Jake Popowitz on the golf course, and they guided me and they helped me out whenever I was struggling with something. And so I try and do the same thing for some of the other players, because I know how much it helps. And also the fact that you're able to play with some of the better players, it really helps you push yourself and helps you elevate your own game. So I think it's huge to know some people, and like even our coach, Mr. Durrell, and he's a very experienced golfer, and he helps me out, and I try and return the favor by helping some of the younger kids out. So it's a good system we have going on up at Crestwood.
Jason, it's more than just the physical talent when you're on the golf course, a lot of mental game. Talk about your strengths and why you think you've been successful.
Yeah, golf, like they say, is 90% mental. And last year, I didn't. Whenever I'd hit a bad shot, I'd kind of let it bother me. But you gotta learn to let it go. You're gonna hit a bad shot. No one's gonna go out and hit every shot perfect. Even the pros, they hit bad shots, and you gotta be able to deal with it. When you miss a green, you gotta not get mad at yourself because you missed a green. You gotta be thinking of, how am I gonna get up and down? And the more you can limit your mistakes and cope with them, the better you're gonna score on the golf course.
Jason Dotzel joining us here on the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers as we talk Crestwood Golf. And, of course, Jason winning the Tryba, which is a great tournament to start the year with the Wyoming Valley Conference. Jason, moving forward, talk about your future endeavors. You're a senior this year at Crestwood. What do you plan to do when school's all said and done in a year?
Yeah, I wanna. I've always wanted to go down south. North Carolina was always my favorite basketball team, and I'm definitely gonna apply there and a few other schools in the North Carolina area, University of Virginia, University of Richmond as well as a few local schools. And I'm gonna weigh my options, but I definitely like to play college golf, whether it's at the higher level or even as a club team. I definitely want to stick with it because it's something that I can do for the rest of my life, as well as again work on my academics and I want to major in accounting and work on that and eventually get on to law school. So.
Well, it sounds like a very bright future off the golf course, and I'm sure with continued success on the golf course as you started out the year on fire. I'm sure you have some personal goals this year as far as getting to districts and then maybe moving on from there. Always a challenge up and down on the golf course. But, Jason, we wish you the very best.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Jason Dotzel from Crestwood High School. He is a winner of the opening tournament. It's called the Tryba. And, of course, success for him coming and his teammates in the Wyoming Valley Conference. Here on the John Mendola Show, we are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers.